Welcome back to Modified Fate. I'm Cheese, I'm with Kuro and Crop as usual.
Hello.
Our
Howdy.
our trigger for the day is Creeping Ice. It's a tome trigger. Create a height 4 blocking destructible impassable ice pillar marker in base contact with the target. While in base contact with the created marker, the target cannot be moved or buried. And how you guys doing today?
Not bad, actually.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Did you guys get any games in lately?
I played some MCP yesterday.
Did you win?
Yes, I did. And at the end of the game, I was talking about how I really enjoyed the leader I was playing because like he had all sorts of support stuff and he was just flexible and then our friend Joel, who I was playing, was like, "My God, you picked a Signar caster," and I'm like, "Oh my God, I did." So, yep, that's me. So it was a fun day though.
I think Kira and I have played like 3 or 4 games with a differential of like 1.
Yeah, I keep seeing you guys post
Right.
your games and
Super tight. I hate Yuko.
which Yuko was he playing?
The good one. The number one.
Yuko 1. Gonna confuse everyone.
Yeah. So we have a couple tournaments coming up. I think we're going to June 15th in Ohio, and then a July 13th one down in Indy, which is one master. You pick one master, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, the indie one, yeah.
Yep. But you can use either title.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
So that'll be interesting.
Yep. And Kuro's got the keyword breakdown that we're doing today of Rasputina.
Yep.
Just to elaborate here, what's your record with her?
I honestly don't keep track, but it's not great.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw you like win with her, honestly.
No, when we went down to, what was it, Heroes Emporium last time?
Yeah, you
play,
guys tied. Yeah.
I played her. Yeah. I think that was my last time I played her that I can remember.
Yeah, when we first started playing, she was all you had, if I remember right.
Yeah, she was what I started with.
Well, with that, go ahead and take it away, sir. Wherever you want to start.
Well, I'll read Rasputina 1 first. She is a living master, defense 5, willpower 6, move 4, size 2. Her first front of card ability is Glacial Surge. After this model cheats fate or discards a card during its activation, it may draw a card. This model may only draw up to X cards this way per activation, where X is the number of ice pillar markers within Aura 8 to a maximum of 3. Which comes in a lot handier than I thought it would be. Her second ability is Harsh Winter. If this model is this crew's leader, enemy models that start their activation within Aura 1 of either it or a friendly ice pillar marker must discard a card or gain slow. Additionally, enemy models cannot gain cover from ice pillar markers. Which I think the part that I misunderstood when we first started playing was if they're slow, they cannot choose to gain slow. They must discard a card. So it's hand control.
Yep.
Then she has Ice Mirror. When taking non-melee actions, this model may draw a line of sight and range from ice pillar markers within Aura 8. Actions taken this way cannot declare triggers unless this model first discards a card. So you discard to the Ice Mirror to declare triggers, and then draw from Glacial Surge, usually, filtering your cards. Then she has Ruthless, so she ignores Terrifying and Manipulative. And she has Sub-Zero Shield. When this model suffers damage from an enemy attack action, it may remove an Ice Pillar marker within Aura 2 to reduce that damage to 0. She has 12 boxes on a 30mm base. Then her backup card, she has no melee. She has Winter's Strike as a projectile 12-inch range, stat 6, resist defense. Target suffers 2 blast, 3 blast, 4 blast damage. If any of this action's blast markers are touching an Ice Pillar marker, the target suffers +1 damage. With a tome trigger for Chill, models damaged by this action gain slow, and mask trigger for Mass Hysteria. Push models damaged by this action up to 3 inches in any direction. Her second attack is Freeze Over. It's range 6, stat 6, needs a TN of 11. It's a Shockwave 1, move 14, slow and staggered. Friendly December models may ignore the effects of the Shockwave and instead heal 1. With a Crow trigger for Cracked Ice, when resolving, increase the Shockwave value by 1. Master trigger Cruelty, once per turn, take this action again. And Ram trigger Hypothermia, when resolving, the Shockwave gains damage 2. Important to note, since she has Ice Mirror, these are actually closer to range 14 and 20 if you flip them off of markers. Then her tactical action is Ice Pillars with range 12, stat 6 with a tome, target number 11 with a tome. Create a height 4, blocking, destructible, and passable Ice Pillar marker anywhere within range, which requires line of sight when you place it, if that's not obvious. Double tome trigger Frozen Domain. When resolving, create an Ice Pillar marker anywhere within range. So you get 2, basically, if you have a tome. Then her bonus action is December's Passage. Range 6, stat 7, TN 11. Target an Ice Pillar marker. Choose any number of friendly December models within pulse 2 of the target and increase the TN of this action by the total combined size of all chosen models. Then, push the target up to 4 inches, ignoring friendly December models. Place all chosen models within 2 inches of the target. Models can only be placed by December's Passage once per turn.
Yeah. There's nothing bad on her card anywhere.
No,
Force speed.
I was going to say that and then I forgot. Yeah.
But she does have December's Passage to make up for it.
Yeah.
So, and obviously she doesn't have to be super close.
Right, and she has access to Call Geists, so
yeah, true. She's got a lot of nifty tools, and especially since they kind of retooled her, and she has Glacial Surge. Glacial Surge is stupid. Oh my gosh,
it's really good.
So when I was playing that Kurai game against Rasputina, I'm sitting there the whole time going, I would kill to replace some of my cards. I would love that. And
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then she had Arcanists have models with Surge as a trigger, so she has other things that will occasionally draw a card here and there. So she's not like Molly or Jackdaw or any of the people who can have crazy card drawing, but she just keeps plugging along, and she always seems to have options.
Yeah, I've tried to get in the habit of not ever soulstoning with her, so I can just surge away the cards that I don't like.
Yeah. I mean, the other definitely with her, if you're soulstoning, that's because your entire hand is garbage. And not but if it's less than If it's 3 cards or less, then you don't care.
You just go fishing.
Yep.
Oh, and if you haven't noticed, Kiro got a new mic.
Yeah. I'll have to listen to the episode, but I assume it's an improvement from your guys' reaction.
Yes, a large margin.
It's really sad that the cheap mic that I got is better than the expensive headset, but
Yeah, Wheelman just said that it sounds very good.
oh great. So yeah, that's Rasputina 1. Apparently, from what I've been told, you don't want to be using Winter Strike. It's mostly freeze over and ice pillars to try and control your opponent's hand.
Yep, and place ice pillars next to people all game long.
The thing with Winter Strike also is you're never going to use it when you cannot place one of the blasts over a pillar, because that, like, you want it when it's a 3, 4, 5 damage, because that's good.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 is where it's at.
And yeah, freeze over is great. Is stupidly good. But I mean, I guess Winter Strike is just there to be surgical. It's like, oh, you hit a guy behind a thing. Well, I'm gonna ricochet a shot, shoot your guy, and then blast, hit the guy.
Yeah.
So
I've mostly only gone for it if I'm going for the one of the triggers, really. Otherwise, I'm not using it.
I mean, that's the other thing is is Mass Hysteria is a stupidly good trigger on something with blast.
Mm-hmm.
So
with potential 20-inch range, it's perfectly fine.
Fair and balanced.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. All
right. So her title version loses a willpower. She's defense 5, willpower 5, move 5, so she picks up a movement. She has a defensive trigger on defense and willpower, absolute 0, after resolving and the current activation, which is pretty strong.
Especially considering she can stone for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's different from the ones that are in the model that attacked activation, because I've obeyed into it and had Zoraida's activation end.
Yeah, that's a problem. Then her second ability is Cryo Sleep. Friendly December models may treat corpse markers as ice pillars and vice versa, which usually ends up only being cute and not all that helpful in my games so far.
It seems like something that'd be really good with Bash when we get to see him later, because being able to eat corpses is great.
That's true. I haven't tried her yet since I've started playing Bash, but I imagine it's good into stuff like Rezzers too. But
and Bash like shielded.
Yeah. Which is her next ability, Ice in the Veins. When a friendly December model with shielded 1 or less within Aura 8 is pushed, it gains shielded 1, +1. Yeah.
Is the Cultgeist push?
I believe so.
Cool.
It maxes out at shielded 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's it's still shielded 2 is great.
Mm-hmm.
Then she still has Ice Mirror and Ruthless. So she loses the Glacial Surge, and the enemies can't have cover from Ice Pillars. She also drops down to 11 hit points and goes up to a 40 mil. Yeah, I haven't really had it be an issue, really. So this one actually does have a melee. She has a attack called Cold Snap, melee 1 inch, stat 6 against defense. This action may draw a line of sight and range from ice pillar markers within Aura 8. Target suffers 2, 4, 5 damage. With a Crow trigger for Mutilate, when resolving, if the target has slow, it suffers +1 damage. Otherwise, it gains slow. And a mass trigger called Rift of Snow. Enemy only. Push all models within pulse 2 of this model or the marker for which line of sight for this action was drawn, up to 2 inches in any direction. Then her ranged attack is Northern Winds, range 8 projectile, stat 6 with Crow built in, resist move, target number 10. Push the target up to 4 inches in any direction. Then if the target is a non-December model, it suffers 1-4 damage. So that's another push there on top of the Cultgeists. And it has the trigger for this episode, Creeping Ice. You tag them with an ice pillar and they can't move or be buried. And the Crow trigger, Mutilate again. Run resolving if they have slow, take extra damage. If not, they gain slow.
And that one's built in.
Yeah, that one is built in. But the Creeping Ice has been pretty nifty in the games I've actually used it.
Oh, it seems pretty sweet.
It basically makes the model that's hit with its first action is slam.
Yeah.
Or I had it used against me where the guy used it on the ice golem to slide it next to one of the in the vaults markers, and then he put the pillar next to it. He's like, you can't push him away.
That's pretty good, actually, too.
And I was like, well, suck.
Just kill it. It's fine.
Anyway, it's hard to do that. It's hard to do that when all of your models have one action and I have no cards in hand. But anyway.
All right. Then her bonus action is Fissure of Frost, range 12, stat 6, TN 10. Instead of dropping a shockwave marker, this action creates an ice pillar marker, centering the shockwave on that marker. Shockwave 2, move 13, slow. Friendly December models may ignore the effects of the shockwave. With a tome trigger for Surge, draw a card. And then her tactical action is Sub-Zero Statues, 8-inch range, stat 6, target number X. Once per turn, target an ice pillar marker. Name a living or beast December minion. The TN of this action is 10 tome plus the cost of the named model. Summon the named model into base contact with the target, then remove the target and attach a frost upgrade to the summoned model, which I believe is just armor 1 and summoned.
Well, and demise Frozen Heart. So when they die, they turn back into a pillar.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She's a summoner, I guess, if you're desperate.
I think she's a pretty good summoner.
She's got some interesting stuff. It's interesting because she summons all these living things, but then she gives it 1 armor, which is oddly, strangely useful because they're the things that don't have armor for her.
Well, she can summon a model that has tools for the job. So
that's also true. There you go.
You can summon the tools model that you never want to pay for. Yeah.
Well, and then also keep in mind, she targets an ice pillar.
Yeah.
Or corpse.
Yeah, and those are so hard for her to get.
Yeah. If she doesn't have one, then she definitely has the other. So
fair. So then on to enforcers, I guess. I'll go with Bash first. He is 10 cost. He's not living, actually. I never noticed that before. No, he's beast. Anyway, so he's a cost 10, defense 4, willpower 5, move 5, size 3. He has frostbite. When an enemy model with slow within 4 would gain slow again, it instead suffers 1 damage after resolving the current action. He has laugh off. If this model would be moved during an enemy model's activation or from an enemy model's effect, they may choose not to. He is also ruthless, so he ignores terrifying and manipulative. He has terrifying 12 and unimpeded with 14 boxes on his 50 mil big boy. And his melee attack is Massive Jaws with a 2-inch melee, stat 6 on defense. Target suffers 3, 4, 5 damage. With a tome trigger for chill, models damaged by this action gain slow. A mass trigger for onslaught, take this action again, targeting the same model. And a ram trigger for tear off a bite. This model heals 2. And then he has 2 tactical actions. First one is Rancid Smell. Aura 4, stat 6, target number 12. Until the end phase, enemy models within range suffer a negative to actions targeting models other than this model. Then he has a quick action for Eternal Hunger. Range 4, stat 5, target number 10. Target a marker. If the target is a corpse marker, this action receives a plus ram to its final duel total. Push this model 4 inches toward the target, then remove the target. With a trigger for every suit. Mass trigger is Hateful Instinct. This model may take a bonus action. Tome trigger Icy Display. Create a ice pillar in base contact with this model. A ram trigger for Tear Off a Bite. He heals 2. And a crow trigger for Thin the Herd. Enemy models within pulse 2 gain injured 1.
He's okay.
He's okay.
Yeah. If they ignore his terrifying, he can get chewed through, but
He can. I've had a couple games where he went down pretty easy and didn't do a whole lot, but I've also had a couple games where Soulstone Cash and good flips has made him tank a
Soulstone
lot of
Cash
hits.
does make him really sexy.
mhm.
Yeah, my that last trip to Indy, my opponent gave up like halfway on trying to kill him after putting 6 damage into him and realizing he was not getting very far.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fun. Then the Ice Golem is also a 10 cost with defense 4, willpower 5, but move 4 and size 4. Armor 2, demise Frozen Heart, so when he's killed, he drops an ice pillar. He has Frozen Club while within aura 1 of an ice pillar. His melee actions receive a plus ram to their duels. And then he has Flurry once per turn. After this model receives a melee action during its activation, it may discard a card to take that action again. He has 9 boxes on a 50 mil base. And then his melee action is Huge Fist, range 1, stat 6 on defense. Target suffers 3, 4, 6 damage. With the potentially built-in ram trigger, Frozen Smash. When resolving, target suffers +1 damage or +2 damage if it has slow. And a tome trigger for chill, models damaged by this action gain slow. Then his tactical actions are Blizzard, Aura 4, stat 6 on TN10. This model may remove an ice pillar marker within range. Until the end phase, non-December models treat the area within range as hazardous terrain. If an ice pillar marker was removed by this action, increase the damage. Models suffer from this hazardous terrain by +1. It's neat, but I'm not good at activating him correctly, I think, for that to help much. Then his last ability is a bonus action, Reform from Ice. Pulse 4, no flips. Remove any number of ice pillar markers within range. This model heals 2 for each ice pillar marker removed by this action.
Yeah, Blizzard's pretty devastating when it's relevant, but since you play against Crop most of the time, with Kurai, it's not relevant.
Yeah.
Well, Kurai, no, but other Rezzers, absolutely. Because if they don't have armor, they're relying on hard to wound to keep them alive, and so, oh well, we'll just ignore that, and here's 2 damage, here's 2 damage, here's 2 damage. So yeah, when it's relevant, it's super relevant.
Hmm.
I will say that against Karai, the important part here is Frozen Club with Huge Fist. Because 7 damage, one shots a Curio. So you just concentrate, hit it, because the Curio has a defense of 3, and then cheat in the Severe and go, awesome, summon her again. Do it.
And you're legally required to call a Curio a bitch there.
Yeah, pretty much. His pimp hand is very strong. I mean, that's the thing, is when we talk about like, oh man, this model doesn't do a lot of damage. This guy, like, if you get that built in, that's 4, 5, 7. It's just, and it's on a 6 stat, which is good. So he's good. I mean, he's not flawless, obviously, but he's solid. He's solid.
Hmm.
Yep. I'll go down to Snowstorm. He's the only henchman, I believe, still. He's cost 9. He's a living model. He's defense 6, willpower 5, move 5, size 3.
And I believe it's the girl riding the beast there.
Snow is the girl.
Yeah.
I believe Storm is the Yeti. It was a whole thing when in the first book when they came out that basically Snow Storm is the two of them together.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's a whole thing.
I don't actually use that model, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I use the Krampus model.
Krampus,
yeah, you have the Krampus one.
So they have Middle of the Storm. When a friendly model within Aura 3 suffers damage from a projectile action, reduce that damage by 2. Then they have Charge Through. This model's melee actions that are generated by the charge action receive a positive to their damage flip. And Sacrifice to December. After this model kills an enemy model, if the enemy model was within 2 inches of one or more ice pillars, add 1 soulstone to this crew's soulstone pool. And Demise Frozen Heart. They die, they make a ice pillar. They have 9 boxes on a 50 mil frame. And
6 defense is not bad.
Yeah. 6 defense and henchman tricks.
Yeah.
They have Ferocious Claws with a 1-inch range, stat 6 on defense. Target suffers 2, 4, 6 damage. Push the target up to 2 inches in any direction. With a ram trigger for puncture, when resolving, the action's damage flip receives a positive for each ram in the final duel total to a maximum of 2 positives. With a tome trigger for chill, models damaged by this action gain slow. And they have Ice Tornado as a projectile, range 8, stat 6, target number 12. Shockwave 2, move 13, damage 2. When resolving, friendly December models may ignore the effects of this action and instead push up to 3 inches in any direction. All the pushes.
Well, right there, that says that you want, if you're taking her Rasputina's title, you want Snowstorm, because that throw down a couple of ice tornadoes and everybody's.
Oh, you only need 1 if you got a 6 of rams.
That's also true.
Which is dope.
Yep. The ram trigger is Cataclysm. Drop a second shockwave marker. And it has another chill trigger for models damaged gain slow. With 2 bonus tacticals, Grim Feast, remove target corpse marker. This model heals 1, 2, 4, which is a lot better with her title when you can eat the pillars to heal.
Yep.
And then the second one is December's Command, range 6, stat 6, target number 10. Target other friendly model with Demise Frozen Heart. Push the target up to its move in any direction.
So push that ice golem.
Yeah, and still better with the title because it can push summons.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I need to try her some more. But Okay, I guess. I still think it's mostly a tech piece if you're not taking the title.
It definitely seems like the title just makes it a lot better.
I don't think you need cult guys with this guy.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, it sounds like you don't need plural.
Right.
Yeah, and you're not using them to negate damage with the title, so. Then I have Sightless Snow. It's a cost 8 enforcer, living, defense, willpower, and move 5, size 2. It has aspect of the beast. After this model is deployed, it may attach a mutation upgrade because it shares a keyword with Marcus's Chimera, which is kind of neat to have outside of keyword, but less effective. Then it has Keeper of the Peak. When taking non-melee actions, this model may draw line of sight and range from ice pillar markers or friendly beasts within Aura 6. I don't know that I've still used that or not. It has shape change. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the big thing to keep in mind with that and with ice mirrors is that works with interact actions. So like various scheme like strats will be like, do an interact to vote if you're within range 1. Oh, well, that's not a melee action. So we're going to draw a range and line of sight from an ice pillar I placed next to the voting booth. And we'll just mail vote in. So it's got way more uses than it looks like at first glance.
Yeah, and again, I think that's one that's better with the title because you can summon the Horcats and their beasts.
And they're fast.
Then she has Shape Change Cedra. At the start of this model's activation, it may discard a card to create a Ice Pillar anywhere within Aura 6 and replace itself with Cedra without discarding any upgrades. Which unless someone has a better way to do it in the app, that's a real pain because you have to kill them, add them, and then add the upgrades.
Yes, it is very annoying. They have it so Ferdinand Vogel works in the app, so they should update.
Maybe we'll figure it out eventually. Then she has Unimpeded and 8 boxes on her 30 mil base. And she has a melee action called Frozen Strike. Stat 6 on defense, 1 inch range. Target suffers 1/3/4 damage and gains slow. With a crow trigger for dismember, enemy, living, undead, or beast only. Drop a corpse marker into base contact with the target. She has Breath of Frost, range 6, stat 6 on defense. Target suffers 2, 3 with a blast, 4 with 2 blasts. Models damaged by this action gain staggered. With a mass trigger for coordinated attack, another friendly model may take a melee action targeting the same model, and a ram trigger for Heart of the Stag. Replace her with Cedra without discarding any upgrades. And her tactical action is a bonus action. Primal Runes, range 6, stat 6, TN 12. Target an ice pillar marker or friendly beast. Choose one of the following. Luck, drop a ski marker into base contact with the target. Stillness, create an ice pillar into base contact with the target. And Wandering, push this model up to 6 inches towards the target.
And keep in mind that Bash is a beast, Blessed of December is a beast, and then if you're playing the title, you can summon those Horcats. You can recruit Horcats if you want to as well, but summoning them is definitely a real interesting thing to do. So,
nope. I was checking to see if Wendigo is a beast. He is not. On to Cedra. She is a 8 cost beast. Defense, willpower, and defense and willpower 5. Movement 6. Size 2. She also has Aspect of the Beast, so she gets a mutation upgrade if you deploy her instead of Sightless Snow. She has Creature of Ice. This model may only replace or be replaced by Sightless Snow. This model cannot be hired into a crew containing Sightless Snow.
Even though the app lets you do it currently.
Well, it has to because it doesn't let you swap them correctly.
Yeah, that's true. She has Demise Eternal. Once per turn after this model is killed, it may discard a card. If it does so, it heals 4. It has the shape change ability, but into Sightless Snow. At the start of this model's activation, it may discard a card to create a Ice Pillar within Aura 6 and replace itself with Sightless Snow without discarding any upgrades. It also has Unimpeded and 8 boxes on a 50 mil. It also has Savage Bite, like Mr. Bash. Range 1, stat 6 on defense. Target suffers 3, 4, 5 damage. She has a tome trigger for Bloody Fate. Draw a card if the target was not killed. Discard a card. Tome trigger Dismember. Enemy only. Enemy, living, undead, or beast only. Drop a corpse marker into base contact with the target. Or Ram trigger, tear off a bite. This model heals 2.
And one of the Marcus upgrades adds a mask trigger for Onslaught.
That's pretty good.
So she can have a trigger on everything.
Is that the charge through upgrade?
It's the horns, I believe.
Mm.
Oh, I gotta click Cedra. Oh, it doesn't add the reference cards.
No, that would be helpful. We don't do that here. It is the horns.
Yeah.
And it
Horns
is the
goes
charge
Onslaught and charge through. Yep.
I just assumed that's what it would be. Where was I? Cedra. Okay, then her tactical actions are Call of the Mountain, range 6, stat 6 with a tome, TN 12. Friendly beast or December model only. Target may move a number of inches up to its movement. The built-in tome trigger is Flames of Change. Target may discard a mutation upgrade to attach a different mutation upgrade. So in December, this is only good on itself.
Yeah. It's very strong in Marcus, though.
Yeah. Then it has a Ram trigger for Hunter's Cunning. Replace this model with Sightless Snow without discarding any upgrades. Then it has bonus action Grim Feast. Range 2, remove target corpse marker. This model heals 1, 2, 4. And bonus action Onward. Stat 7, TN 12. This model may take the walk action.
Mm-hmm. And real quick, the upgrades that it can add. Armored plates gives it armor 1 and hunker down. If this model didn't move this activation, it gains shielded +2, which is not going to happen with her. Feathered wings gives her flight, +1 movement, and butterfly jump. Horns we just went over. Then natural camouflage gives it disguised and stealth. And then the last one is blood in the air. Enemy models damaged by this model's melee actions gain adversary beast, which is still relevant in Raspy. And it gives it the puncture trigger on its melee.
Yeah, being able to give Bash and the Blessed and himself or herself positives on attack is that's good.
Yeah. I definitely like the horns on it though. I hadn't thought about that the 2 times I've played her.
I think the horns on Cedra seem really interesting, but the camouflage on Sightless Snow seems really interesting.
Oh yeah, the camo is one of the better upgrades. Yeah.
Because being able to hang back and have such a crazy range, even though hers is a little shorter than Raspy's, it's still really good. And also just shoot around corners. So
Mhm.
you can bend bullets.
And then the +1 move on Cedra makes her speed 7 with flight.
And unimpeded.
Well, flight was.
The flight lets you place,
That's
right?
yeah. Unimpeded is relevant though for Call of the Mountain, which she can target herself with to disengage essentially for free.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
She's a scheming monster.
Yeah.
She's just a giant antlered Swiss Army knife.
Yep. I've mostly used the camouflage and played safe with her, but that's probably not always the best idea.
Well, I mean, when you're trying them out, they don't do anything when they're dead. So I mean, you got to keep it alive.
Yeah.
That's pretty much been my logic. Then I'll have the Blessed of December, who is another 8-point and beast with defense 6, willpower 5, move 5, size 3. She has Eat Your Fill. After killing an enemy model with a melee action, this model heals 2. Hard to Wound. Damage flips against this model suffer a negative. And Deadly Pursuit. During the end phase, this model may push up to 4 inches. With 8 boxes on a 40 mil. Also has Ferocious Claws. Range 1, stat 6 against defense. Target suffers 2, 4, 6 damage. Push the target up to 2 inches in any direction. It's literally the same exact attack. Okay. Sorry, I just realized it had the same as Sightless Snow. Or not, Snowstorm.
Yeah.
It has a ram trigger for critical strike. When resolving, the target suffers +1 damage for each ram and a dual total up to a maximum of 2. A mass trigger for pouncing strike. Place this model into base contact with another enemy model within 5 and a line of sight. Then take this action again, targeting that enemy model. And another mass trigger for onslaught. Take this action again, targeting the same model. Tactical actions are both bonus actions. Leap, range 6, stat 4 with a mask. Target number 10 with a mask. Place this model anywhere within range. And Grim Feast, because this is everywhere in December. Remove a corpse marker. Heal 1, 2, 4.
Yep.
But my bless mostly just dies, so.
That do be what happened.
I think she's pretty good, but like not like insane or anything, but
She's solid. My last game with her and Indy, my opponent played Masaki and Red Jokered the damage. So
ugh,
yeah, it was unpleasant.
playing an entire faction of basically Hard to Wound, that kind of like here flip 4 cards, severe, weak, Red Joker. Well, my life.
I even cheated the 13 to try and keep her alive. It did not work. So then we have December Acolytes, which are a cost 7 minion 3, living, defense 5, willpower 5, move 5, size 2. They have From the Shadows, so they can be deployed at the start of game rather than deployment. If so, they may be deployed anywhere on the table that is at least 6 inches away from the enemy deployment zone, and it may not take the interact action on the first turn. They have tools for the job. So at the start of this model's activation, it may draw the top card of its discard pile, then discard a card. Until the end phase, this model may add the suit of the discarded card to its final dual totals. And they have Sacrifice to December. If they kill an enemy model within 2 inches of an ice pillar, add a soulstone to the soulstone pool. They have 7 boxes on a 30 mil. They have a melee attack called Skinning Knife. It is range 1, stat 5 on defense. Target suffers 2, 3, 4 damage with a crow trigger for Mutilate. So +1 damage or gain slow. They have a Harpoon Gun, which is a 12-inch projectile, stat 6 on defense. Target suffers 2, 3, 5 damage. Push the target up to 3 inches towards this model. With a ram trigger for pull and drag, push the target 3 inches towards this model. A mass trigger for reposition, move this model up to 3 inches. And a crow trigger for mutilate. They had
the thing I saw happen with this gun is you shoot a model on the other side of the ice column, and then you pull it into the blizzard. Takes 2 more, and then pull and drag for a second push to take 2 more.
Okay, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, which they can build in the RAM. So
it's true, technically. They have Analyze Weakness, which is range 10, stat 5 on willpower. Until the end phase, all damage the target suffers ignores armor and shielded. And tactical action, you guessed it, Grim Feast. Remove a corpse marker, heal 1, 2, 4.
Hungry.
All of December is hungry.
Does Tina need to summon them? An 11?
They are a 7. So
she needs a 17. I don't know what her casting stat on that was.
It's a 6. So yeah, she needs an 11. 11 of tomes. Or a tome. Then I have Silent Ones at cost 6, minion 2 living. They are also defense, willpower, and move 5, size 2. They have Ice Mirror, so they can do neat deliver messages through ice pillars within 8. They are attuned, so they may use soul stones. They also have Sacrifice to December, so if they kill an enemy model within 2 inches of an ice pillar, they add a soul stone to the crew's soul stone pool. They have 6 health on a 30 mil. They have no melee. Their attack action is limited to Ice Blast, range 8, stat 5 with a crow built in. Resist defense. Target suffers 1, 2 blast, 4 blast. With a mass trigger for swift action, take this action again. And the built-in crow is Mutilate. With 3 tactical actions, they have Ice Pillars, range 12, stat 6 with a tome, target number 11 with a tome. Create an Ice Pillar anywhere within range. They have Healing Energy, which is range 8, stat 6, target number 12. Target heals 1, 2, 3. With a tome trigger for Healing Burst, models within pulse 2 of the target heal 1. And bonus action, Grim Feast. We eat corpses for health. I do like that their healing energy doesn't care if it's living, frozen, or anything. It just heals.
Yeah, these guys are lame.
They make ice pillars. That's their job. Then you have Ice Dancers, which are probably the most useless model in this keyword. They are cost 6, minion 2, living, defense, and willpower 5, move 6, size 2. They have Don't Mind Me. They may take the interact action while engaged, or if it has taken the disengage action this activation. They have Butterfly Jump. After resolving an enemy attack action targeting this model may move up to 3 inches. And they have Ice Skating. This model may move through, but not end its move on ice pillar markers. After this model ends a move, it may place one ice pillar marker or scheme marker that it moved through during that move into base contact with itself. They have 6 health on a 30 mil base. They have a attack action called Frozen Touch with 0-inch melee, stat 5 on defense. Target suffers 1/3/4 damage and gains slow. Tome trigger for Beautiful Clothes. Target gains distracted +1. Then they have tactical actions. Ice Path, range 8, stat 5 on target number 12. Target an ice pillar marker. Push this model 8 inches towards the target, ignoring models. Enemy models this model move through this way must each pass a TN13 move duel or suffer 2 damage. With a mass trigger, swift action, take this action again. They have a quick action called Freeze the Corpse. 2-inch range, target a corpse marker. Create an ice pillar marker into base contact with the target, then remove the target. And they still have Grim Feast. They're okay, I guess.
They're a relevant summon, I think.
Yeah.
Just because they can move a scheme marker.
Yep. I think I only like them as scheme as summoning.
Yeah.
Then they have Armor 1 and Butterfly Jump. They might take more than 1 hit to kill.
Yeah, and if they die, they make an ice pillar.
Yeah. Then I'm fine with it. Then we have Cult Geists. They are a 5-cost minion 3. They have defense and willpower 5, move 4, size 2. They already have armor 1. They have Frostbite. Like Bash, if a model within 4 would gain slow again, it suffers 1 damage after resolving the current action. They have Frozen Vigor. At the end of this model's activation, if it is within Aura 2 of an ice pillar, it gains shielded +1 and heals 1. And then the last one is Icy Form. Other friendly models may treat this model as an ice pillar marker. If it would be removed this way, it instead suffers 2 irreducible damage. Which I think is the main thing. They have 5 health on a 30 mil. Their attack action is Hard Slam with melee 1, stat 5 on defense. This model may lower the value of its shielded condition by any amount. The target suffers 1/4 damage. For each point of shielded that this model lowered, the target suffers +1 damage to a maximum of +2. Their tactical actions are Jagged Ice, range 4 stat, or range 8 stat 4, target number 10. Target an ice pillar marker. Enemy models within pulse 1 of the target must pass a TN13 duel or suffer 1 damage and gain staggered. With a tome trigger for Chill, models damaged by this action gain slow, and a ram trigger for Shattering Surprise. Place this model into base contact with the target, then remove the target. Then they have a bonus action, Icy Winds. Pulse 2, stat 4, target number 10. This action may draw range and line of sight from any one ice pillar marker within 8 inches, in addition to drawing range and line of sight from this model. Friendly December or Savage models within range may push up to 3 inches in any direction. With a ram trigger, defensive reflexes, this model gains shielded +1.
They're pretty meh. I don't like them in Savage, and I don't really like them with her either.
They're just support to push other guys around, and they count as an ice pillar, I guess, if Raspy 1 needs a outlet for damage. Or Raspy 2 can summon off of them.
Jagged Ice can be really good too, because it's damage that doesn't target that model. So like you get around Terrifying, you get around any of those stupidness, and you can push through. You can push through some possible damage. Also, AOE staggering is pretty useful. So, but mostly what I've seen them for is Jagged Ice.
That's usually what I have them do, I guess, because it's there, but they have to do something. On to Horcats.
Real quick, if she could summon Cult Geists, I would like them a lot more.
Yeah. If
A Cult Geist with armor too? Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
freaking sweet.
I'd be all about that. All right. Horcats are also 5 cost. Minion 3, Beast, Defense 5, Willpower 4, Move 6, Size 1. They are manipulative, so if they have not yet activated, enemy attack actions that target them suffer a negative to their duel. They have Tundra Hunter. When targeting a model within 2 inches of an ice pillar, this model's attack actions receive a positive to their duels and damage flips. They have Trample. They can move through other models. They have Eat Your Fill. If they kill an enemy model, with a melee action, they heal 2. They have Stealth, so they cannot be targeted by enemy models with more than 6 inches away. They are 6 health on a 40 mil base. Their attack is Claws. Range 1, stat 5 on defense. Target suffers 1-4 damage with a tome trigger for armor piercing and a crow trigger for swallow you whole. After killing, the target does not drop any markers, and this model heals 1-3 with a tactical action to have Grim Feast and eat more corpses.
So if you didn't swallow them whole, just save the bonus action. You can swallow them whole.
Yeah, we'll get there. Well, and the Grim Feast is 1-4. I mean,
well, if you swallow them whole, you also get Eat Your Fill, so it's really 3, 4, 5.
That's true.
Swallow you whole also works on things that are not living or undead, like things that won't drop corpse markers. Like you can eat a ghost.
Yeah, for reasons.
For reasons, exactly.
They're okay when you summon them. Every game I've not summoned them, they just get killed. So things. And then we're down to Ice Gammon, which I don't remember the last time I've used. I
don't blame you.
They're pretty bad. Cost 4, Minion 3. They are Defense 5, Willpower 4, Move 4, Size 1. They have Armor 1. They also have Frostbite. So if you pulse more slow out, you ping more damage. They have Demise Frozen Heart with 4 health on a 30 mil base. They have the same claws as a Horcat, apparently. It's range 1, stat 5. Target suffers 1-4 damage with a tome trigger for chill. And they have Ice Blast, which is range 8 projectile, stat 4 on defense. Target suffers 1-2 blast, 4 blast, tome trigger chill. Their tactical action is their bonus action, Encase in Ice. Range 4, stat 5, needs a 10 of tome. If the target is a December model, this action receives a tome to its final duel total. Target gains shielded 1. So I guess it's built in on my stuff, but I don't ever use them. So
From what I understand, the only person who uses this is Sandeep 1, I think, because you start with 2 of them. He summons a third one, and then you Voltron them into an ice golem right off the bat. So
Fair. I just don't like them. They're not very good.
Agreed.
Then lastly, we have the Wendigo, which is her totem. It is living. If for some reason you were hiring it, it costs 3. It is defense 4, willpower 5, move 6, size 2. It has companion. If a friendly model ends its activation within 6 of this model has not activated this turn, it may discard a card or pass token to do so. It has Frozen Conduit. This model may be treated as an ice pillar marker for the purposes of Ice Mirror ability. So you can bounce attacks off of it with the Silent Ones and Rasputina. It has Demise Frozen Heart, so it becomes an ice pillar when it dies.
And a corpse token.
And a corpse token. It is also significant.
Or with Abominable, it becomes 2 ice marker corpse tokens. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it is significant despite Cheese hating that every time or forgetting. It is 4 boxes on a 30 mil. It has a 0-inch bite with stat 5. Target suffers 2, 3, 4 damage. Crow trigger, swallow you whole. And then its tactical action is December's Pawn, range 10. No flips. Once per turn, target a friendly model with Ice Mirror, ignoring line of sight. I'm not sure if I ever realized it didn't need line of sight. Select one of the target's non-melee actions that does not attach upgrades or list a model by name. This model may take the selected action with a stat of 4. So usually it just makes more ice pillars.
You could use it with the healing of the Silent Ones.
Yep. I think I've done that once, but I have to remember that I can do it.
Or Tina 1's Shockwave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or I guess Tina 2's Push also would work.
It's definitely going to be better with tactical actions or things that don't have opposed duels.
Yeah.
Since you start with a 4, but
yeah,
then
she needs
it
a
all
6
it means
for
is,
Northern Winds.
Yeah, like you just have to get it to go off. So
yeah, it's not bad. It doesn't say a non-quick action either, so that's interesting. And then it of course has Grim Feast because
But you could use December's Pawn to give it a second Grim Feast.
Oh my god. I suppose you could.
So baller.
If for some reason my Wendigo uses Grim Feast twice in one activation, I don't know what's happened.
Well, it would count as your bonus action, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so you'd have to stun him or whatever so that he does his bonus action as an action. So then he can. I don't know where you're getting the third action for this though. So
I don't think that's not gonna work.
he can fast just so that he can eat 2 corpses. There's a lot of work.
Well, I think that it would become a bonus action, wouldn't it?
I don't know. It says this model may take the selected action.
Oh. Okay, so
So
that means that when you do December's Pawn, you're doing that action.
Sure.
May take this. Yeah. So your action for December's Pawn would be I'm doing Grim Feast, and then you would bonus action I'm doing Grim Feast. So never mind, it's not hard at all.
What kind of non-December models would you hire with her?
That's cute. I'm not sure.
Well, I know Harrison Fraudsham is good with her.
I've used Fraudsham. I've used the Gearlings. I have used the Rider way back when to reactivate my Blessed I'm not sure if that's a good move, but it's interesting. I don't know. I might try Altus when he comes out. I mean, I guess I could proxy him now, but he's on my list of things to try.
Yep. Twist Reality is a hell of a drug.
Well, and he has, when he activates, the opponent has to discard a card. So,
Yeah.
just make sure you have no cards.
Yep.
Seeing a theme here now with what I'm picking.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's fine. Yeah, that's December.
Cool. I think that's everything we have, unless you guys have anything.
No,
Nope.
unless anyone's got comments or thoughts.
Tina, okay. C minus.
C minus. She might be a C plus.
All right. With that, we're out of here. Keep it positive. We'll see you next time.
Later.